Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Welcome to the big news. The topic for today's discussion, National Farmers Day. Before we understand what this topic is in greater detail, we have an announcement. BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS would be conducting a free IAS workshop, and the agenda of the workshop is note making and revision plan to excel in the UPSC CSE 2023, which will be live on our exam prep application on 24th of December at 6 p.m. The session will be handled by Anubhav Saran sir, so please to tune in at 6 p.m. tomorrow so that you would get all the updates as to how to crack UPSC CSE 2023. Let's get started and try and understand what is this National Farmers Day. The National Farmers Day is also called as the Kisan Diwas. This is celebrated every year on December 23rd to honor India's farmers and also mark the birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Choudhary Charan Singh ji. So the backbone of India's economy and a significant contributor to rural prosperity happens to be the farmers. To honor and appreciate all the responsible farmers for their contributions to the society, National Farmers Day is celebrated every year on December 23rd. The day is observed to commemorate the birth anniversary of Mr. Choudhary Charan Singh, India's fifth Prime Minister. So why is December 23rd celebrated as National Farmers Day? That is because in 2001 we have the government which recognized the contributions made by Choudhary Charan Singh ji to the agriculture sector for the welfare of the farmers, and as a result from then what we have is 23rd of December, which is recognized as the National Farmers Day or the Kisan Diwas. What is the significance of the National Farmers Day? We are all happy that we have 3 times food to eat, but do we ever remember the hardship that the farmer faces when he has to grow the crops? So to give an awareness on the role of the farmers and the contribution that they made to the economy, and also to increase the knowledge about the hardships of the farmers, what we celebrate is the National Farmers Day. So this day is used to focus on providing farmers with the latest technology, the latest up-to-date agricultural knowledge so that they can increase the yield, and at the same time to also tell the people the hardships that are being faced by the farming community. In this particular backdrop, let's also understand who was Choudhary Charan Singh ji and what was his connection with the farmers. Choudhary Charan Singh was born in 1902 at Nurapur in Meerut district of Uttar Pradesh in a peasant family. He served as the fifth Prime Minister of India from 28 July 1979 to 14 January 1980. Coming from an agricultural family, he was a proponent of rural and agricultural development. He made continuous efforts to keep agriculture at the center of planning for India. What were his key contributions? Formulation and finalization of Debt Redemption Bill of 1939 was done under his leadership. The aim of the bill was to give relief to the peasantry from the moneylenders. While serving as Agriculture Minister in 1952, he led UP in its efforts to abolish Zamindari system. Landholding Act of 1960, aimed at lowering the ceiling on landholdings to make it uniform throughout the state, was brought by him. He was the founder of Kisan Trust, which was a non-political, non-profit making body on 23rd of December 1978. The aim of the trust was to educate Indian rural masses against injustice and foster solidarity among them. He was a believer in simple living. He spent most of his time reading and writing, and Singh published numerous books and booklets during his lifetime. He is well known for cooperative farming, India's poverty and its solution, and abolition of Zamindari system. Since he has made a lot of contributions to the farming community, his birth anniversary is also recognized as the National Farmers Day. Now what we have to focus is the state of the agricultural productivity in the country. When we speak about agriculture in the country, what is its market size? What are the various issues that the agriculture sector currently goes through? The major issue that agricultural sector currently goes through is the size of the agricultural holding. When we speak about the size of the agricultural holding, it is dropping every year, which means to say the number of farmers who hold the agricultural plot is decreasing over a period of time. The large pieces of land is broken down because of the succession, and what we have is decreasing sizes of agricultural land holdings. What these farmers also face is issues with respect to the monsoons as well. They still do not have adequate amount of irrigation, so they have to depend on the vagaries of the monsoon. So inadequate access to the irrigation makes them depend on the monsoon. Then what we see is excessive use of the fertilizers. As they make excessive use of the fertilizers, the soil fertility has decreased over a period of time. There is imbalanced soil nutrients as well, which ultimately means loss of fertility of the soil. And most of the farmers who operate in the remote areas, rural areas, still do not have access to the technology as well. Technology to the farmers are very important. They increase the pace at which the agricultural production will increase, but many farmers do not have access to the modern technology in different parts of the country. And of all this, the significant impact is in terms of the credit. They still depend on the brokers, they still depend on the money lenders, and they do not have institutional credit. So lack of access to the formal agricultural credit, low remunerative prices basically means that farmers do not have adequate source of income. There is increasing debt, crop failures. This has led to farmers committing suicides as well. These are the significant issues that are existing in the agricultural productivity. Despite all this, what agriculture has been able to reap is the benefits from the agricultural expansion. When we look at the agricultural sector, it plays a significant role when it comes to the Indian economy. Almost 50% of the people are employed in the agriculture and its allied sectors, and it contributes significantly to the Indian agricultural sector. So as much as 17.5% is contributed by the agricultural sector to India's GDP as well. However, in recent years, the share of agriculture and its allied sectors when it comes to the overall GDP has been dropping over a period of time. So what has been the market size? According to Inc. 42, the Indian agriculture sector is predicted to increase US 24 billion by 2025. Indian food and grocery market is the world's sixth largest, with retail contributing 70% of the sales. In terms of exports, the sector has seen good growth in the past year. In financial year 22 until December 2021, exports of marine products stood at US 6.12 billion. Exports of rice stood at $6.12 billion. Buffalo meat exports at US 2.51 billion. Sugar exports stood at 2.78 billion. Tea exports at 570.15 million, and coffee exports at 719.95 million. These are the significant contributions made by the agriculture sector. Added to it, when we look at the key trends, what we have is the agricultural exports, key agriculture allied sector exports from India, and number of government initiatives so that they can give boost to this particular sector. So what are the initiatives? Pradhana Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, Digital Agriculture Mission, Pradhana Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Added to it, the government has also taken number of other initiatives as well. In July 2002, PM Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises scheme was launched. The Indian government is planning to launch Kisan drones for crop assessment. NABARD will assess the creation of a blended capital fund with a focus on agricultural startup ecosystem. Then there are 729 Krishi Vigyan Kendras which have been established at the district level across the country, where they would provide technology such as improved variety, seed of crops, new breeds, strains of livestock and fish, improved production and protection technology reaches the farmers. So for all the concerns that we have discussed, the government is trying to come up with its own schemes and mechanisms and welfare programs so that it ultimately reaches the farmers and they ultimately become the beneficiaries of all these schemes and programs. The Union Minister of Home Affairs Corporation launched the Dai Sarkar scheme in Anand in Gujarat. Ministry of Civil Aviation launched Krishi Udan 2 in October 2021. The scheme proposes assistance and incentive for movement of agri-produce by air transport. Agriculture Processed Food Products Export Department Authority signed a memorandum of understanding with ICAR for boosting exports of citrus and value-added products. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also came up with climate resilience and high nutrient content for the agriculture sector. Then we have Pradhana Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana. We also have Digital Agriculture Mission as well. and where they've also made use of technology to ultimately provide improvement to the farming sector. So some of the recommendations that the government has also taken up seriously is with respect to the availability of water resources and providing irrigation facilities to the farmers, providing them high quality seeds, providing them fertilizer at the right moment, and making sure that these farmers also get institutional credit as well. Why? That is because when you have the brokers or the money lenders, they put in exorbitant interest rate which the farmers will not be able to pay back, and ultimately there are suicides that are committed by the farmers. So this has to be stopped. So the government has provided institutional credit in the form of banking channels, priority sector lendings for the farmers. So finance for the farming activities is readily available with acceptable loan rates as well. Electricity is also being provided to the farmers. We have the storage facilities which have been increased for the goods that they produce. And finally, they also have been providing the MSPs, the production cost, and also reasonable amount of money for the farmers as well. So what is advantage for India? We have a robust demand for all the agricultural produce, a large population, and raising urban and rural income is driving the demand for the farmers. So external demand is also driving export from the agriculture sector. So what we will see is that agriculture sector will grow in the near future. There are attractive opportunities in the agriculture sector. Demand for agricultural inputs such as hybrid seeds, fertilizers, allied services like warehousing and cold storages is increasing in India at a faster pace. The government has also announced PLI scheme for food processing sector with an incentive of 10,900 crore over a period of 6 years starting from financial year 22. The Krishi Udan 2 scheme proposes assistance and incentive for movement of agricultural produce by air transport. And what is the competitive advantage? High proportion of agricultural land, diverse agroclimatic conditions, encourage cultivation of different crops. It is this that we have to understand with respect to this topic. Thank you for watching. All the best.